everybody, it's Brookie with Nightbird Tarot. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here. I'm doing something that I just got very motivated to do. I was feeling very emotionally drained and tired. Today is Monday, October 23rd, and I thought it was October 22nd. And I just felt very physically tired, and I thought to myself, what can I do to motivate myself? And is anybody else out there feeling the same way? Now, I'm not an astrologer. However, I think there's some sort of planetary thing going on. If anybody is an astrologer, knows a lot about astrology, please comment. I'm off today, and I just feel very drained. So, I thought to myself, I'm going to come on YouTube, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've been wanting to do a weekly channeled reading that's not specific for all 12 zodiac signs. And so I experimented, and a few things came up. So if you ever book a private reading with me, it's very different than what I showcase here on YouTube. For the ones who have gotten private readings with me, you'll know what I'm speaking about. I often receive images, words, dates, names, and I like to call it my spiritual team. I don't believe it's just one spirit guide that guides me. There's more than one little spiritual divine being around me sometimes in these readings, but I often have these things come through. So I experimented, and I'm going to come on today. Please keep an open mind. This is not zodiac or astrology, astrological sign specific. This is just a channeled message. I'm also going to be reading from the tarot a little bit. And I just want you all, if this is helpful or resonates or validates for everyone, for anyone who's watching, take that message with you as a sign or a message from divine source, as I like to call it, or spirit or God, or however you want to phrase it, okay? So this is what we're doing today. So let's get started. You know, as a tarot reader, I often get inspired to do a tarot spread or draw a card myself, or an oracle deck or any kind of divination. And then I also like to incorporate other things, but I liken it to the magic hour or the witching hour, or, you know, those moments that you get inspired to do something kind of magical. That's what I'm feeling. So I think I'm going to call this magic hour. Minus the bunny and the top hat. Okay, so these are the channel messages that came through. Once again, keep an open mind. These are not specific for any zodiac sign. However, 2 zodiac signs came up in particular, so stay tuned. So, the first strong image that came to me was of an archway or a doorway or something that was very refined in terms of architecture. But the image very much symbolizes to me, for those that are watching, for many, not for everyone, there's some sort of opening this week that may serve as a challenge at first, but there's going to be an opening or a doorway, essentially physically or spiritually, that some of you may walk through this week. So that was the first strong image. I also picked up on someone has a tear in their Achilles heel. Someone has a muscle tear or a tear in an Achilles heel from running, from exercise, or just from having some fluke weird injury. Okay, that came across as well. And I'm thinking, what? Achilles heel. Okay, I wrote it down. Hummingbird came immediately to me as well. Hummingbird very much symbolizes joy. So hummingbird applies for those that are watching as well. I asked Divine Source to please send me the messages that need to be heard for those that are watching. Okay. The two signs that came up, and it was funny how they came up because they weren't immediate like, Pisces, you will, you know, get a brand new car this week. It was nothing like that. It's not like echo, echo. It was very subtle, and it just kind of like peeled away who it was. So Taurus came up for those born under the sun sign of Taurus, your moon's in Taurus, your rising signs in Taurus. This came through very specific for Taurus. Taurus in particular, okay, they told me, showing signs of compassion and mercy this week about a matter. Okay, Taurus in particular, they said, showing signs of compassion and mercy came very, very clear to me this week about a matter. Okay, take that with you, Taurus, however that message applies. Gemini, so we have an earth sign and an air sign that came through. Gemini, they said, let the mind wander. It's okay. Try not to be in so much control this week over an outcome. Okay, Gemini, let the mind wander. It's okay to do that this week. You don't have to be in control so much on outcomes for Gemini. Okay, so Taurus and Gemini popped up this week. I'm going to do this again next week and see who comes through. So that's what I got. So please take those messages with you if they apply to you, or if they apply for a friend or family member. Just that's what came through for me. So I am going to do a little tarot spread. I'm using the Tarot Illuminati deck, and I've already pre-shuffled the Tarot Illuminati deck. It's much larger than traditional tarot decks because they have princesses and princes in there, so it's much larger, has gold gilded edges. So anyway, I've already pre-shuffled for the tarot. Now I'm going to pull, I've pulled 3 cards, and it's interesting because earlier I did a reading with the Witch's Tarot on my Instagram for a daily reading, and the same card, one of the same cards came in. So and other readers who are watching will attest to this, and it'll happen if you, many times I have used a tarot deck and I wasn't feeling it, but cards would be pulled, but I just wasn't connecting with that deck. So I'd go and pull out another deck, and the same card or cards will appear. So when that happens to me, it's very much about the symmetry and the flow of divining and of divination itself. So what's on the bottom of the deck? We have the Devil. So this is a reading for October 23rd to the 29th. So the Devil has appeared. And the Devil can be a card about, very much from my studies and from my experience as a reader, very much about addiction in some cases. Can very much be something about that you feel addicted to. Relationships, people, substances, actual medical addiction. So in terms of alcoholism, drug addiction. So the Devil has appeared, and it's very much telling me, for many, that there's something along the lines of feeling very chained and bound to a situation. Feeling very chained and bound to a situation that may, for some, be something that is so strong that it's hard to break free of it. And this could even be applied to relationships, addictive style or addictive types of relationships. And I'm picking up more on relationships, but this can also run the gamut, because this is, once again, not specific. This is just a general channeled message, but something very much in terms of feeling that you will never break free, feeling as if this will be your life, or feeling as if this is how it's going to remain. So the Devil card can also indicate a very lusty, sexual, passionate relationship as well. So the Devil has appeared on the bottom of the deck. Now let's see what these cards I pulled. The card that I pulled earlier from my Instagram, Nightbird Tarot, is the Six of Swords, and this has appeared again. So the Six of Swords is here, and it's very much about moving away from difficulties. Being a spiritual vehicle for yourself of moving out of treacherous, negative, depressing, sometimes bad situations where you thought you could not escape from it. And this once again can be relationships. This once again can be a toxic work environment, a toxic relationship, a toxic home environment, something very to do with addiction in the home. Okay, going back to the Devil card. But the symbolism is you are this week for many being freed from something. You're now taking the steps to free yourself of something and moving forward. So there's a definite moving forward for many of those. The second card that came up is the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is very much about using intuition as your guide. I cannot pound that into people's minds. Your intuition is a gift from God. Everyone is born with it. If you want to refine it and tune into it, it's very much possible. It's not something that just a few of us have. Everybody has it. When she appears, it's saying you're on the right path. You're on the right path. Not all is revealed yet. She's very mysterious, but you're on the right path. With the High Priestess coming in, okay, moving out of a certain situation, however this applies on your life path, and you're moving at your own pace, you're moving towards your right path. Essentially, you're being led, or you're being guided, or you're being led down the right path. For many of those, if you have been hoping or praying or wishing for God, please put me on the path that I need to be on. I will often ask for that. Please lead me down the path that I'm supposed to live my life spiritually, purposefully. I don't ask, and also, by the way, turn me into a millionaire. It's not about that. I want to be led down the right, perfect path. And many of you may feel this week, especially my first image was an archway or a doorway, of finally being led on that right path. And the last card that I pulled is the Chariot. So the Chariot is very much about courage, overcoming obstacles, victory, success. It's very much about determination this week, not letting yourselves get caught up in other people's stuff, not worrying about what other people are doing, feeling very driven, able to overcome any kind of negativity thrown at you, any kind of criticism thrown at you, being very focused for many this week as well. And the Chariot's all about overcoming difficulties, overcoming some experience for many. So the Chariot's a very strong card. When this appears in a reading, it has much promise for it to be successful and for it to work itself out this week. So I wanted to come on and have the magic hour where I was feeling very emotionally deflated for some reason this morning, and I felt being in service to me is not all about the bells and whistles. It's really about communicating a message that needs to be heard for anyone who is out there. So I wanted to do that, and it helps me reconnect with myself. So this is what I have picked up on for the week of October 23rd to the 29th. And I hope that these messages were helpful for the ones who are tuning in. And next Monday, hopefully I will be back on to do another magic hour. Magic hour to me is very akin to the witching hour in terms of feeling inspired to do a reading. It's much like an artist or a painter or a writer. You feel inspired to write something. You feel inspired to paint something. As a spiritual reader, I feel very inspired sometimes out of the blue and kind of in the weirdest moments to come on and do a reading on YouTube or to do it on my social media or to do it privately. It's just this little weird kind of magical thing. So magic hour, the power. So anyway, Taurus and Gemini, don't forget your messages that I communicated to you earlier. And for the ones that are dealing with a tear in Achilles heel or a tear in the muscle, I don't know. I don't know. So a few things did come through. We're going to try this again next week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this channeled message for October 23rd to the 29th was helpful for the ones that have tuned in. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe. We're going up, up, up. And my subscribers, thank you so much. Everyone, I send you many, many blessings this week. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.